Hello and welcome to this next episode in our series on cinematography with Paul Howard. Hello, Paul.
Hey, Phil.
Now, the last few eps we've been talking about the F3 in particular, which we have here at the college. But my question is, there are so many cameras out there. Everybody wants to work on an Arri Alexa or a Red, but are they the best tool for the job sometimes?
Well, it's an excellent question, and it depends a lot on...
We've got a few examples here on the table with us. We've got the 7D, which is the brother to the 5D Mark III, which everyone's familiar with. Everyone, DSLR type cameras. There have been films and things shot with this which look fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
It does have its limitations and its advantages.
Yep.
Even the Hero, we've got a Hero, the GoPro Hero 2. There is now a Model 3 out, which we don't have yet. And they definitely have their purpose as well, their use as well.
That's right.
But they all have their advantages and limitations.
Yep.
So how do you choose the right tool for the right job?
Well, I think it depends. It starts with the discussion with the director, and then very, very quickly after that, it's a discussion with the producer. Because it's all about money and art meeting commerce. I've heard many a young filmmaker, and this always astounds me as a DP, saying, oh, look, our film would have been awesome if we'd had a Red camera. Or if we'd been able to get the Arri Alexa. I want to shoot with the Alexa. In fact, I had someone call me the other day about a film, and they said, look, we don't have any money for you, but we're going to shoot on an Alexa. And I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. Why?
What's more important, the camera or the person who's going to wield it?
And I might be different to other cinematographers in this respect. I mean, I love shooting with big toys that cost a lot of money, like everybody. But do they suit what you're trying to achieve? Are they going to help realise the dream of the director? I'll give you an example. You've got a certain budget, certain amount of money, and someone's saying, I want to shoot 35mm for that. Okay, great. Where's our location? It's that white box over there. That's the unit, that's the flat we're going to shoot in, What kind of actors do you have? Right, they haven't had much experience. Why is it? Well, I can't afford this. I can't afford that, I can't afford this. But you're putting all your money into the camera. And in my opinion, they're all just tools that suit budgets. That's what they are. And we're so lucky these days, more so than ever before, that we have this enormous array of tools to choose from that produce all sorts of different images, from iPhones to the F65, and all of them in between, so that if you have an idea, you can match that idea to the budget and shoot something. And because the most important thing is being able to tell the story. And of course, knowing how to tell the story is one thing, but having an awesome camera at your disposal is not going to help you tell that story if you're sacrificing the art direction, for instance. It's just not going to do it.
If all the money's going into the camera. Well, let me play devil's advocate. I mean, could I shoot anything decent with something like this or something like this? Why would I choose this over a cinema camera, the high-end Sony cameras, Panasonic cameras, or a Red or something like that? Why would I choose this? Because it's $3,000, plus a lens.
Yep.
There are certain limitations with depth of field and focus issues like that, which we know, we've worked with it.
Yeah.
What are the advantages of this? Why would I choose it? Just because it's cheaper?
Because it'll suit the task better, I think. If it suits the task to use the big camera and you've got the dosh for it, then do it.
Because these cameras take longer to work with as well.
Sure, and this one, as we know, you can mount on the front of a New York taxi and away you go, and you get stunning images. One of the most impressive films I've ever seen was shot on an iPhone, and it was shot in many cities all around the world, and it was just beautiful. And the images suited the aesthetic, and it told the story really well. I think it's about telling stories. I don't think it's about
the tools.
I don't think it's about the hardware. But what you can do, because I think we've always thought about it the other way around. If I have the best camera in the world, or if I have the most awesome bit of kit, I think that if you go story first and figure out, if you don't have any money, how can you make it? Because it's more important to tell a story than it is.
So this is unusual, coming from a cinematographer, and you'd think, normally they'd say, I just want to get with the best camera possible, and you're saying, I don't care what the camera is as long as it suits the story and the performance, it suits the production and the requirements of that.
Look, I've stood on a bunch of sets with a 35mm camera, and the art direction is terrible. It's just terrible. And I'm thinking, why are we spending so much money on this camera when we could be shooting on it much less but have beautiful art direction? Because there's a saying between cinematographers that many cinematography awards are won and lost between the art direction. And I think that's true. I'm not saying, oh, just shoot with this and then spend money on everything else, but gee, you could in some respects. I know, I just saw a feature film shot with a 5D in a war zone, and that just blew me away. It's to Hell and Back.
Right.
I think it's called The Hell and Back. And the dude worked it out so that he had a little focus wheel. I don't know whether any of you seen it. You should see it. It's an awesome film. I thought it's, he had a little focus wheel on it. He worked it out so the whole thing just ran, a little steady cam on it. It was so real that I thought, man, how did they do this? It's like they couldn't have been actually out there. And this was a war photographer that ran with a unit in Afghanistan. And I thought it's just too real to be real.
Well, we had that same experience. We shot a film with our students in New York last year, and we could have taken this, but we thought, no, it's too conspicuous. Let's just go with this camera.
Guerrilla style on the streets of New York, no permits.
Central Park, Times Square, no one even noticed us.
And you can.
Yeah.
You can do that stuff, and I think it's more important, like I've said before, it's more important to tell a story than it is to spend all the money on stuff, that isn't necessarily going to make it a better story. If you have an awesome story that's engaging, it doesn't matter what it's shot on. And so many people prove it these days. That's my rave on. That's my rave on the tools these days.
Choose the right tool for the job and the right tool for your budget, basically.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time. It's a really exciting time to be a filmmaker, I think.
Great. Thank you very much, Paul.
You're welcome.
See you all next time.